Console Corner is brought to you by and created by Blue Ball 1993, with special thanks to our contributors Garcia, GC2MT, Josh Carbon, Hi-Res, Phazion, Onilight, and many others. If you'd like to be a contributor and a more prominent supporter of Console Corner, be sure to visit our Patreon at patreon.com/blueball. That's patreon.com/BLUBALL. Welcome. This is the first episode of the Console Corner podcast. Today, I have joining me Chris Sau from the PS4 side of things. A little bit more of an analytic mind, and he's also a writer. I forgot for who, but we'll ask him here in a second. And we also have from the Xbox side of things, your resident champion with Onslaught, your summer finals winner, and the captain for Onslaught, Miracle, is here with us today. Miracle, Chris, how you guys doing today?
Good. How you doing, Blue Ball?
Okay, I'm doing good, Miracle. Chris, how you doing?
Been better, but ready to get this thing on the road.
Okay. So real quick, Chris, who do you write for again?
I used to write for a thing called Paladins Mag. It was kind of monthly editions, and they'd break down maps, get interviews with streamers, and I would mainly do the console side of things. So I wrote updates on the PCS and then the LANs.
What happened to the mag?
Well, it kind of died out because they went way too hard. I'm going to be honest. They put out way too much stuff in the beginning, and whenever it just kind of died out, so I left.
Oh, you left. Okay. Miracle, how you feeling after winning summer finals?
Good, man. Relieved that's over. For real. It's stressful. It's stressful. I think our team puts a lot of pressure on ourselves to win. So when we win, it's just a big sigh of relief for all of us.
Yeah, I can only imagine. I was part of the team for like a week, so I understand, kind of. But today we're going to talk about summer finals, which is perfect because we have the winner here with us. We're going to talk more about the PCL, which is actually started today. Most of the people, or actually everyone, is not going to hear this right away today, but the EU side of things started for week one's qualifiers for the PCL. We've got some things to say about that. I know none of us are happy with the format that they put out. We'll talk a little bit more about Elevate on the PS4 side of things. OG Comedy, specifically as a player himself and free agent, kind of in the void right now. I don't know where he's going. I'm sure he's joined a team already, considering they play tomorrow for NA. And some sleeper teams, both in EU and NA for PS4 and Xbox, who we each think could make a potential run for a LAN qualifier, or even to be an upset in the PCL. And then we'll talk about our All-Star voting, which actually ends today. And then, it was broken down, PS4 Frontline in NA, PS4 NA Damage, and so on for all four regions amongst two consoles. And what we're going to do is we're going to take the top four from each role and put them together for PS4 versus Xbox. I know a lot of people just expected the LAN players to be the top vote getters, and they are. A lot of people are upset that it's a popularity contest, and I'll explain why that's a good and bad thing when we get to that. I want to start off with Miracle. I just want to talk about the drafts, Miracle. First of all, what was your mentality going into this?
So going in, you can hear me, right?
Yeah, we can hear you. I'm just gonna. I've got a couple of the drafts here, and I'm gonna pull them up so I can tell you what the hell was the other team thinking. But just tell us what you were thinking going forward.
Okay. Going in, we're just worried about getting what's comfortable for us. Our draft really relies on just getting our DPS players what they want and allowing them to kind of frag out. We think we have the best 3 DPS players in the world, so we just want them to be at their best is our goal.
And you told people publicly that you were going to run triple DPS.
Yeah. I mean, Wonderful is one of the best DPS in the world. Xbox, EU, or NA, whatever. So yeah, we pretty much know people are coming. Know it's coming. People know the Moji is coming, and we saw that. Wonderful never got it at LAN. So I mean, it doesn't matter. Like people know what we are at this point.
So here's the thing I want to say about that. And Chris, you can, Chris, you watched the LAN, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so you can comment on this at any time. So the first matchup, of course, is Onslaught versus Vex for Xbox side of things, NA versus EU there. And, you know, you guys have faced Vex before.
Tons.
Skeppy and Wonderful have faced Vex tons of times at LAN. More than you and Trensic.
Every time, I think.
Yeah, they have. Well, not Skeppy. He was on the PS4 side of things for HRX. Which is what I said on Twitter yesterday. You know, Xbox NA has been in every single one of the LAN finals so far. Wow. Xbox NA is 3-1 in those finals. And Wonderful is the only person that's been on all 4 of those teams. So he's near and dear to the Xbox NA lifestyle. But I wanted to just the first game out the gate, you say, you know, you publicly say we're going to run triple DPS. People know Wonderful wants Moji. He doesn't get Moji at all during the entire LAN. Not a single time, right?
Yep.
The problem I have with people, other teams going into this, and I'm thinking of this from my perspective as a coach, you know, with that analytic mind, that coaching mindset. First game is on Jag Falls. I think arguably Jag Falls is Onslaught's or your best map.
It's up there.
I've seen you guys play it a dozen times. I've seen you guys zone it out very well. I've seen you guys run the triple DPS. You always have the Genos there too. So here's what I don't like to see from a team like Vexed. And this is not saying anything bad about Vex. I just think this was a very, very poor draft for them. So the first thing they do is ban Moji. They have first pick, first ban. They ban the Moji. Okay, you're not giving Wonderful the Moji. That's a good ban. You guys then banned the Bomb King. What was the thought behind that? Was it a target ban against World, or was it just...
Yeah, we don't want World to have that.
Okay, so that's what I figured. You don't want World to have the Bomb King. Okay. Their next ban is where their draft went downhill. They banned Khan. Now, most people might say, oh, that's not a bad ban. That's a really good ban. But against your team, who publicly said we're running triple DPS, who publicly has not ran Khan in any Mixer finals that I know of or can remember.
Only once, I think.
Did you run a solo tank Khan?
I don't remember. It was against Elevate on Frog Isle. I don't remember if it was solo tank. I don't think it was, though. Actually, no, we ran an R with it. So, yeah, it wasn't solo.
Yeah, you're not going to run a solo tank Khan. Anybody in their right mind is not going to run a solo tank Khan.
Mm-hmm.
And it's on Jag Falls. If you do what you're supposed to do and rewatch VODs of the teams that you're going to face, you would notice that your team runs triple DPS with a Genos on Jag Falls 99% of the time. Why are you banning Khan?
Not sure. I mean, that team, that's a really smart team, to be honest.
It is a smart team, which is why I'm surprised they made this dumb decision to ban Khan. And then afterwards, they first pick a Drogos, knowing that Cool Matt, let alone Skeppy, are hit scan dominant players.
Well, to be fair, like to play their side, Drogos is really strong, and it's not like Skeppy and Coolmat are bad on the Drogos. They're some of the best in the world.
Exactly. But here's the thing. Miracle, you yourself, if you had to go against Skeppy, would you give him Drogos or would you give him Buck?
Oh, Drogos.
Thank you. What was your first pick that game?
I'm pretty sure it was Buck.
Buck Willow.
Oof.
So you take Drogos for World, which is one of the best Drogos players on console, but you
Right.
leave Buck and Willow. You guys banned Fernando, which means your solo tank options have gone down, but so has theirs.
Yep.
And they lose that big tank in the Fernando with the Immortal, which is so good on Jag Falls. It's so good on Stone Keep. You guys had a consistent ban most of the time. That was Fernando. So you guys knew exactly what you wanted to do. You guys wanted to triple DPS. Teams were banning Khan against you. That wasn't the smartest decision.
Yeah, that's for their draft. That's the only thing I think I would have changed if they had watched our stuff.
But to top it all off, at the end of this draft, you guys have last pick. You guys get the Genos.
Yeah.
It's just game 2, they do it again. They ban Moji and then Khan.
Yeah. The Khan ban may have hurt them, but I mean, what else do they? I don't know what else you would ban. Our team picks like off meta shit.
Well,
So
here's
it's,
the
like, kinda
thing.
weird to ban against us.
I think, okay, obviously the champ pools for Cool Matt and Skeppy are pretty large. Plus, they can play the same things on some of them. So it's pretty hard to do that. I think if you were to target ban Onslaught, you would have to target ban Trensic. If you look at the tanks Trensic played at this LAN, there was only 3 of them.
What were they? I'm interested. Anara, Makoa,
Anara, Makoa,
Term.
Anara, Makoa, and Term. So if I were to target ban Onslaught, I would target ban Trensic. You don't have to ban a champ that the best player on the enemy team plays. You can ban something that is crucial to their strategy.
Yeah. I mean, generally banning out the other team's best player doesn't work most of the time.
Most of the time, exactly.
Like you can't like banning stuff out against like Parker just isn't gonna work because Parker is just gonna destroy you on anything he gets. Right?
That's what I'm trying.
So it's
exactly.
like you can't beat up on their champ pool. So banning them out doesn't like. I mean, sometimes it's good, but most of the time it's probably not a good idea.
Yeah, I don't agree with the bans Vex had. They had a better draft in game 2. I'll tell you that. You guys took Drogo's first pick. They immediately responded with Leanne Buck.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Buck was really strong that LAN. I think people were really underrating it. Do you know Buck's win rate there? I think it was actually low, but I think Buck was really good.
I didn't do the win rate for Buck, but
Okay. I heard it was low. Which is surprising to me. But I think Buck is the best champion at LAN. Other than Moji. But
I think the best champion at LAN, highest win percentage probably would have to be either Willow or Genos.
Genos, really? Wow.
I mean, Genos is really strong.
Genos is really strong, but so was Furia.
Fury got banned a lot. I mean, so did Genos, but
Yeah, that was like just Elevate though. Elevate, like that was the first team. Like we were really surprised they were banning healers. That was like really odd.
Elevate hates Furia and they hate Leanne. They're glad they're not in the game right now. Honestly, I think they don't want Alyssa to put them back in the game.
Yeah. Well, it might change with the roster change.
Well, yeah, maybe. Let's We'll talk about that in a little bit. Let's talk about one more of your drafts, okay? And this one,
Okay.
we thought that Vex draft was not smart. This draft was not smart.
Okay.
We're going to game 3 of your guys' semifinals against Elevate, the first time you played them at LAN.
Okay.
It's double elimination. You faced Elevate twice. The first time you faced them, they beat you on Bright Marsh. They picked the Grok that game.
Mm-hmm.
Bright Marsh, good map for Grok.
Very.
I mean, you guys had the Willow, but it was tough, you know?
Yeah, I thought Willow would have been enough, but they just had way too much healing on that. Like that will never get through the draft again. I'll never. Like, that was such fucking cancer.
Well, a map like Bright Marsh is hard for Willow to focus a Grok.
Mm-hmm.
You guys also had the Grover. Grover's a really good pick as your support on Bright Marsh, but against the Grok and you have an Inara, so you know if he shock pulses you, it's bouncing off Inara's wall, her warder's field. It's just Grover's right there for the shock too, so it's
Right. He's an easy target for it.
exactly. But let's go to game 3. They beat you game 1, you beat them game 2. Let's go to game 3 on Stone Keep. If you notice what I did, you guys liked to play these long maps. Narrow, long, little bit of high ground. And you guys run triple DPS on them and you guys just dominate those maps. The small maps you guys have a little bit of a problem against. But I think the long, narrow maps are your best. Jag Falls, Stone Keep. I personally think those are your best 2 maps.
Hit scan maps.
Exactly. Speaking of hit scans, game 3, Stone Keep. Elevate bans Drogos and Genos. Okay, so you guys lose your go-to support.
Yep.
And you guys banned Moji and Furia. Which are good bans. SJP's a good Moji. Neil's champ pool is not that deep. You know, Genos and Furia are both banned, so those are 2 of his champs he can play. The only ones left are Grover and Saris. You guys actually got the Saris. They took the Grover because he prefers the Grover over the Saris because Void's Abide is banned, so you have to play Mortal Reach.
Mm-hmm.
Which you did that game.
Yeah. If I had the choice, I would have ran Void Abides there because it's pretty strong on the in the keep area, the high ground. But Mortal Reach got the job done.
You solo tank, and you can heal from farther back, which worked perfectly because your damages were Willow, Victor, and Vivian. You have 2 hit scans and a Willow. All 3 of them can sit back with little fall off damage and just dump damage into the enemy team. When I see a Willow, I immediately think we need a hit scan. The Willow free-fired all game. Elevate had a Khan and an Inara. You guys had a solo tank Makoa. So they have the better tanks, I think, because 1, they're double tanking.
For sure.
2, they have a Khan that got through.
Con. Yeah.
But their damages, you know, they have the Grover who can poke people out from far. But they have a Buck and a Zin. 2 flanks, right? Zin's really strong. So is Buck. Like you said, you think Buck's the strongest. Buck cannot deal with a Willow when there's a Vivian sitting next to her. Especially with 1,000 health shield. So
Yeah.
I don't understand why they didn't take a hit scan in this draft. Another thing I don't understand is their support Grover is the only one that can flex to the high ground as much as they should have been on the high ground. Your Willow, Vivian, and Victor just sat on the high ground during the payload push by the garden and just dumped damage into below. They couldn't do anything about it.
Right.
When that draft went through, how big was your smile?
Um, honestly, I don't think it was that big. When the Victor Vivian together thing, that's new. That was something we were just feeling while we were there, and it was working. So we just did it till it stopped working.
Wonderful
And then
got
that was
Vivian, I think, every single game except for the 2 that you double tanked.
Yeah, that's like Chick Ruckus for him.
But I don't understand why people didn't ban or pick it. I still don't understand why people are not picking Vivian. You saw Good Lad beat you guys with it in the spring finals. And now you guys just won with it in the summer finals. Why are people not picking Vivian?
I think people are getting caught up with like these balance changes. People are saying, "Oh, this character's really strong now," and they're seeing like Vivian not getting picked on PC, and the metas are different. Like on Xbox, you want characters that have room for error, right? So like Victor and Vivian both fit that, where if you miss a shot, you're not going to die, where if you miss a shot on Cassie, you're going to die. So we kind of take that into account.
I don't understand. I think it's because people have that mentality that, oh, this character's for brain dead people.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
You're in the pro scene, quote unquote, at a LAN event. There's no such thing as a brain dead character in that situation. No one is stupid enough to just let people shoot you without any penalty. At least I hope not.
If it catches you off guard, it might be. I
Vivian
think it caught people off guard.
Vivian, I don't understand why people don't understand. I've been preaching to them. You run sapper rounds. Okay? Record 3 is 225% increased damage to shields. But with sapper rounds, you get 150% for free. And then you buy Cauterize. You put the movement speed card in your deck. You have Nimble 3 already with that for free. You buy Morale Boost. You put the shield health card in your deck. Flanks literally cannot kill you when your shield is 1,000 health, let alone your health pool, let alone you're shooting them. Two yellow items and 2 red items, essentially. That's not brain dead. You have to think about that.
Positioning is big with her, and Wonderful is probably the best at positioning in the game, and we kind of saw that.
It's not even about who's playing it. It's just people don't understand how to play it. But anyways, Chris, what do you think? What did you take away from watching the it could be any of the Onslaught games or even any of the other games?
Just people seem to not look at history, like what you're saying. They let Onslaught kind of get what they want, while they're also kind of getting what they want, but they don't understand Onslaught is just better at what they do.
Sometimes it's not about what characters are good. At the end of the day, sometimes you just got to pick what your team's good with and just play it better than the other team.
And Onslaught showed that they're the best at doing what they do best and won.
So you said no one looks at history. Do you guys want to see you guys want to hear a fun fact that I actually figured out yesterday?
I always love your fun facts.
Okay, so this actually is really, really. I don't know if it's weird. It's funny. I think it's like scary, to be honest. So I run those Twitter polls with the 4 teams that LAN. Day or 2 before the LAN starts. Even I say, who do you guys think is gonna win? And I list the 4 teams. So, this I think it's kind of scary. It's pretty spooky. The people that vote on those polls have correctly guessed the LAN winner both times without knowing, I think is the best way to put it.
Rig.
By this,
They
but-
picked Flashpoint last time?
no, that's the thing. They didn't pick Flashpoint, but they picked Flashpoint.
What does that even mean?
Okay.
Excuse me?
So this is what happened. Last at Spring Masters is when I did the first Twitter poll, right? You had Flashpoint, Vexed, Fable. You guys were Fable at the time. And
Yeah.
then there was Onslaught, which was the PS4 NA team. The least amount of votes was who?
I don't think it was Vex. I think that
If I
was.
had to guess Onslaught.
It was Onslaught, exactly.
Okay.
How fast did Onslaught get eliminated from the tournament?
I think they were first, right? First eliminated?
Yes. Well, no, Xbox plays first, but it was 3-1.
Right.
They
They,
lost.
they
the
I
worst.
guess, did worse. I guess,
Vexed
yeah.
Vex took you guys to 5 games, so they lost 3-2. Vex had the third amount of votes in that poll. First place in the poll, the most votes, 76% in that poll, to win the event was Fable. The second most votes was Flashpoint. Who won the event?
Flashpoint.
Wow.
Who lost the event?
Fable.
Evil?
This Twitter poll for summer finals, the team with the least amount of votes was Vexed.
They got fourth.
The team with the most votes was Elevate.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And the team with the second most votes was Onslaught.
Oh my gosh.
And Flashpoint was third. The second most voted team in those polls won against the team with the most votes.
So are you saying that your polls are blessings to second place and curses to first, third, and fourth?
Listen, I'm the console messiah. That's all I have to say.
You're not the one doing the predictions, though. It's everybody else.
No. I typed that and pressed tweet.
All right, then. You're not wrong. All right.
But yeah, I mean, Flashpoint, they looked a little lackadaisical at land.
Well,
I mean,
I know they were blacklisted. Like nobody would scrim them.
that too. I mean, here's another thing. I think the first time when Flashpoint won at Spring Finals, I think Miracle, you can tell me if it's true for you and the Fable team at the time. Did you guys prepare to play Flashpoint? It's like, oh, we might be facing Flashpoint, so let's prepare to.
Yeah. I think.
But here's the thing. Did you prepare to face them with Swiper?
Yes.
This
we thought
time,
about it. We obviously
this
thought about
time,
it either.
this time, did you prepare to play them with Swiper?
No, we thought Legacy was coming the whole time.
I think it was the element of surprise the first time. Don't get me wrong, Flashpoint is a strong team. But I just think it was an element of surprise the first time, 24 hours before it starts. Boom, Legacy's playing.
Maybe. I'd credit it more to the Vivian pick though. The Vivian pick
Of course, good lad. Just
and inner tilt. Like
yeah,
so,
yeah.
like, they
We know
played
on
really
your
well,
on your
they
side of
played one
things.
of our worst sets ever.
Yeah. But
Especially that Stone Keep game. Holy shit.
speaking of Flashpoint, I got two things I want to dive into. So at LAN, Flashpoint versus Elevate had to restart one of their games.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, they got screwed. Poor
Yeah, here's the thing. And I spoke to some Flashpoint people about this. So Storm Avatar is playing Grover. He vine whips and gets stuck in a wall.
Have you ever heard of that happening? Ever?
Were you there? Could you see it?
No. I know it happened, but like I've never heard of that happening online. Nothing. Never seen anything like online on like Reddit.
Well, there are a few
that has to be
bugs
the
that
first
are
time ever.
that are console and PC specific.
Oh, does that happen on PC?
I mean, I don't know, but I'm just saying there's bugs that are platform specific.
Right. That was an interesting one, though. That was
Here's the two things. Here's the two big things out of that. One, Legacy is like screaming at Cooper, just let them kill him.
Oh, I didn't even know about this part. Okay.
That Op and Legacy, Storm, the whole Flashpoint team is saying, just kill Storm. Kill him.
Right.
They're winning this game at this point.
Yeah.
Wasn't it like
They
3-2 or
had
something
ult
like
as
that?
well.
It was-
I think they had ult advantage as well. I think they had like 4 or 5 ults.
They did. They had ult advantage. If they would have killed Storm, they just captured. They could have backed up and just regrouped.
Yep.
Cooper said, no. Rules say we need to restart.
I don't know if this is true, but I heard they also wanted to play like 4-on-5. Like they were willing to accept the 4-on-5.
I don't know about that. But here's my problem with the restart. None of these things qualify for a restart except for the bug that happened. So the other two elements that I have problems with should have never changed.
Right.
Flashpoint had a Barrack. Op was playing it.
Mm-hmm.
If you pay attention, Op accidentally bought Illuminate at the beginning of the game.
Definitely saw that.
Legacy literally told me that he would rather win with the Illuminate pick than lose because of the restart. So he didn't.
Of course.
So he got his blue item back, essentially, Barrack.
Right.
Here's the second thing I had a problem with the restart, and this one's even worse. Whoosh was playing Terminus.
Mm-hmm.
Whoosh, if you pay attention to when they introduced the legendaries
He changed legendaries, right?
he changed legendaries and loadouts.
Yep, I heard that.
The first game he was running the stun legendary with no DR in his loadout.
Mm-hmm.
After the restart, he's running Undying with like full DR.
Yep.
It changes the whole pace, the whole outcome, everything.
Yeah. And one map snowballs. I mean, I do think Elevate was the better team that day, but
No doubt, but
one map changes things.
that could have
They got
changed.
tilted. They got
Little
tilted
things are
early.
what decide these lands because their sets are so small. Like one little mistake may lead you into tilt, and then that tilt causes you to lose the series. That happens. That happened last set.
Calm down. One mistake may cost you PCL qualifiers.
That actually will happen, except you don't even have to tilt. You just have to DC and you're done.
All right, let's talk about the PCL format here. It's best of one. First of all, week one, there's 3 weeks. 3 weeks, okay? Which is unusual. Usually it's 4 weeks, 3 weeks of open bracket. This time it's 2 weeks of open bracket. There's no seeding until, well, there is seeding, but it's not the normal top 8 seeds advance to week 4 finals. This time it's point based, just like Console Wars back in July. Miracle, I know you weren't around then. So, if you finish first in the tournament for week 1, you have 100 points in the standing. Second place is 60 points. Third is 40. Fourth is 25. 5 through 8th is 10 points. 9 through 16th is 5 points. 17th and anything past that is just 2 points. Which I guess was an okay system back during Console Wars for Valencia qualifiers. There was 52 teams that showed up for Xbox NA the first week.
There was also supposed to be 6 weeks of that. 1 week got knocked off. There was still 5 weeks of that.
The bad thing about that system was that teams like Strictly Business on Xbox NA qualified in week 3. They had 300 points. They won every single week. They had 300 points. The second place team was Set to Destroy X, who had they had one bad week, and it cost them everything. And the third through whatever was just jumbled the whole time. It was different people in different places every week. But that second place team, Set to Destroy X, lost in the semifinals against Strictly Business. I think it was 1 out of those 3 weeks, and it cost them their whole qualifier. The same thing happened with on PS4 NA between Coastal Mayhem or Coma versus Invigorate. They went neck and neck every week. Invigorate won the first week because Coma had a bad set and lost. They didn't make.
They lost in the quarterfinals. They lost in the quarters, and that really cost them.
Exactly. They lost in the quarters or the semis, whatever it was. The rest of the last 4 of those weeks, that was week 1, Coma had a bad week. After that, week 2, 3, and 4, and 5, they were in the finals against Invig, and they beat them every time.
I think, yeah, they 2, 3, and 4 they won, and then 5 was the deciding one, and then...
And they lost, and there was that whole big debate about the DDoSing and stuff like that.
DDoSing Zim.
DDoSing, keyboarding, all that garbage. I mean, Miracle, there was literally no evidence was found, but there was literally a map. It was Brightmarsh. I remember Brightmarsh had just came out at the time.
Yes.
The Brightmarsh map.
No, I think it was
No, it was Brightmarsh. Yeah. Grapple walks out of spawn. They're about 2 inches from pushing this payload in Vegas. Grapple walks out of spawn. He immediately turns around and walks back into spawn and stands there. The rest of his team runs out of spawn past Invig as they're getting shot.
Past in like what?
As if they're going to where you capture the payload.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yep.
There was a big debate about DDoSing. But anyways, PCL is bringing back the point system.
Wow.
But it's only 2 weeks long, which potentially means if you have one bad week or if you don't even show up for 1 week, you might not make the final 8 teams that go to week 3, which by the way are split into 2 groups of 4, and the top 2 teams make the league, which means what is that? 8 teams in total across EU, NA, PS4, and Xbox in a league. Which means 4 teams play round robin each week for 6 weeks to determine one team that goes to LAN.
Okay. Also, 6 weeks of competition, 6 best of ones. That means in a whole week, you're going to play for 15 to 25 minutes.
Well, it's best of 1 until finals every week. For 6 weeks, you have best of 3 finals.
What? This system is so confusing because I thought it was in week 3, you have the 2 groups of 4, which then go into the league. Just those 2.
No. Those 2 groups of 4 play each other to get into the league.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's week 3.
Is it top 2 from each region or top 2 from each of those groups of 4?
Top 2 from each of those groups go into a 4-person league.
A 4-team league.
Making their 4 leagues of 4.
Okay, so 16 teams.
16 teams, yes. They could have done this so much better. They could have written this so much better. That's what I'm getting.
The problem I have is not with the wording of how this works, the format. The problem I have is the league itself.
Yes.
It's a pathetic way to shut the console players up, if you ask me.
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel.
Do you watch the esports weekly broadcasts?
No, I don't.
Okay, well, go and watch the VODs and tell me how much time they spend on console. It's about
I'd
two.
be shocked if it's over 2 minutes.
No, it's average 2 to like 7 minutes, and it's the first thing they talk about. It's out of the way. If you put it first, the people are mesmerized that they're talking about console first. It's like it's a hidden way to shut us up.
Yeah.
There's just so many things that I have questions about. The future of the league, the monetary prizes in the league. Why is it BO1s?
Okay, here's what I want them to do for a league. I want them to run it like PPL. You pick 8 teams, okay? You pick 8 teams. Maybe 16. 8 from each region. But at the small time, beginning it out, okay? You run 6 weeks of qualifiers. If you're going to run this point system, you run 6 weeks of qualifiers, okay? Top 4 teams from each region on each console make it into the league. 4 PS4 NA teams, 4 PS4 EU teams. Those 8 teams play each other like how the PPL plays each other for a certain X amount of weeks. And then 4 teams from each console make the LAN. 8 teams total. It could be, now, if the 4 PS4 EU teams have better records than the 4 on the NA side, then those 4 EU teams make the LAN. I don't have a problem with if Xbox NA has 4 teams or 3 teams that qualify for the LAN and Vext is the only one from EU, I'm fine with that. Because they have to play each other during the season.
I feel like that allows the tier 2 teams
The only
number 1 to show themselves and prove themselves on LAN.
The only other thing that I can think of is if you run it exactly how the PPL runs. How many teams are in the PPL?
5.
On each side, though.
Yeah, 5 NA and 5 EU.
Exactly. But how do they qualify for LANs? They actually have to play in qualifiers.
They play in the
Look
PPL.
at the HRX. There was what? One NA team, G2. The only reason why the second one there was 12 PC teams for HRX, okay? 2 of them were NA. Only one of them was supposed to be NA. Renegades only was a fill-in because the CIS team couldn't make it. So G2 was the only NA team. I'm fine with that. You have to earn your spot there.
Yeah, they did like a qualifying LAN, right?
They did. It was at the High Res Studios before Skillshot became a thing.
It was at
Right.
the first 2 teams, 1 from NA and 1 EU, qualified through PPL qualifiers, and then they had all the PGS teams and the PPL teams in another second.
Yeah, Goose Mob's team was there. That's where Purity.
That would Purity upset SK.
That's where SK was the number 1 seed, and they got upset by Purity. That's when Rock Monkey and Rubu were on Purity.
Yep.
That was a fun LAN.
That was fun to watch.
But you see what I'm saying?
That you want them to earn their spot, not just be, here you go. Yeah.
I think at a certain point though, High Res is a business. Like, you can't ask them to fly like all these teams out. Like, if they eventually get the money to, great. Like, my issue is, like, does it really cost them extra money to have our sets be best of 3? Like, at least best of 3 is already a joke. Like, these best of 1s to get like for thousands of dollars, like, is just insane. It seems like craziness to me.
The problem with the best of 1s is obviously it's, one mistake could cost you the whole tournament for the day. But which is sad because, some people call off work for this.
It's not like the mistakes are like it's like a bummer, but like,
but you said best of 3 is sad.
Yeah,
I think
it doesn't
best
prove who's the better team.
I think best of 3 you know, in the pre-rounds are fine. Finals should be best of 5 or best of 7. But I think the best of 3, I think best of 7 is too long because they want to play all 4 on one stream.
Fine. That's fine.
The problem I have with going longer than, let's say, you know, the semis and the first round and whatever, the quarterfinals and whatever are best of 5. Miracle, you weren't here during this, okay? Console Wars was a best of 5. It was a best of 7 finals. These are open bracket. There was 52 teams week 1 Console Wars.
It lasted forever.
Miracle. Check-ins weren't till noon. The games didn't start till 1 p.m. Eastern.
Were you guys up till like midnight at least?
Miracle finals didn't start until like 9 p.m.
Jesus.
52 teams doing best of 5s.
Yeah, and I'm sure most of them are idiots and like won't start the game in like 5 minutes. It takes them like half an hour to figure out what's going on.
It took longer to set up lobbies back then.
Yeah.
And there was
a lot of glitches.
There was not even bans.
Oh,
It was just pick and go.
First pick was Ruckus.
every game.
Everyone knows you're going to first pick Ruckus. Let's move this game along.
I remember sitting in lobbies talking to people with the brackets up.
Ruckus Barrack was the 1-2 punch right there.
It was. You get that, game over.
Miracle. Ruckus is your first pick. If you're the team picking second, you pick Ying.
Jesus, that seems so far. That seems so crazy to me.
Listen, Ying lifelike was glitched where it would heal for double.
Oh my god.
Go back and watch some old VODs, man. PC or fucking anything, dude. Ying was busted.
Crazy.
Ask Shu. He rode Ying all the way to the Valencia finals. I don't like this format. The best of ones, the 2-week open bracket.
I don't like that it's best of one in the leagues.
I'm not mad. Go ahead.
It's just the best of one in the leagues. If you look at PCL and PGS, they're not. They're best of 3s, and the PPL is best of 5s, and they show like every single game. That's why they have like 4 days of showing it. They're shoving us into one.
The PPL is getting a lot of revenue for high res to begin with. Those orgs are paying a ton of money to be in the league to begin with.
Facebook's also probably paying a hefty amount.
Exactly. It's just like, people wanted this league and all this garbage when the PCS was a thing. And I said, listen, they signed a contract with Mixer. You have to wait until they're through with that. I'm not upset with one team going to land per region. I'm upset with the format of the league, mostly.
It's messy. It just seems messy.
I just think it's a sad way to shut the console players up. Oh, yeah, guys, we got a league. Yay. I don't. Anyways, let's move forward here. I want
We're all sad.
On that depressing note,
I want to talk about Elevate here for a second. So Elevate makes it to the finals in Summerland. And first of all, Sir James Parker, SJP is playing for them. He's a sub. He's filling in for Tommy Jet. I think it was I don't want to say upgrade. Tommy's a really good player. He plays what he plays very well. But I think SJP has a deeper champ pool and has played on this stage before, obviously. But coincidentally for the same name, too, Elevate.
Right.
On a different console. But how do you feel about Elevate dropping their PS4 guys and bringing over Xbox guys again?
I'm not surprised at all. I'm actually.
I mean, I heard it's because they're scared of Onslaught.
Who? Oh, Elevate? Of course they're going to try and improve. I mean, you're always going to try and improve, even if you win. Like if my team won and decided like it was in their best interest to drop someone in order to improve, I would expect them to do that. I don't think that's like being scared of Onslaught. That's just that's the natural focus every team should have.
Okay, but how
Especially if
about
your team is better than them.
okay, but how about this? Tommy Jet didn't go to LAN, so he helped you qualify. So why drop him? He technically didn't go to LAN, so he didn't play badly at LAN.
Yeah, I guess, but not showing up to LAN is kind of like why didn't he go to LAN? He couldn't get a passport or something. He's Canadian, right?
He's Canadian, which means it's much simpler to fix that problem than like per se a swiper problem.
You can expedite that too in like less than a month. That's like kind of a red flag for me if he's not willing to do that. Like I'm
Is he
sure he's a
not
great
willing
player.
to,
I
or
played
is he
against
not
him.
able to? That's the thing.
Oh,
you have to-
maybe he's not able to. I don't know, but
Maybe he doesn't have the
I
money to do it.
someone like
Maybe he didn't have enough money to expedite it because he wasn't paid by High Res in time.
High Res. He's been getting paid by High Res for a while. I'm sure hasn't he been on a top team for a while?
He's been on some fairly good teams. He was on the team
I
that
guess
claimed they had a free LAN.
I guess it's unfair for me to make these judgments, but that would be a red flag for me for someone like just not going to an event or not able to make it, right? Like Jordan on the PS4 side is talented, but if he can't go to LAN, what good is he to you?
He just got
Right.
picked up by a team on PS4 NA too.
Did he?
Yeah.
Okay.
He got
Hopefully
picked
he
up
can make LAN this time.
by the NAN handlers.
Excuse me?
It's Schlurpy, Author, Jordan, Roman Rulers, Dez, and Vengeance got moved to sub since they picked up Jordan.
That's an interesting team. I'll put it that way.
I mean, okay, let's talk about them for a second. That's an upgrade. I know Miracle doesn't know much about these people. So Schlurpy would be your front line.
Yes.
Miracle, you might recognize his name. That was General in Chief. But Schlurpy would be your front line. And then they told me Author would be damage and Vengeance would be damage. And Dez and Roman were going to be your flex. And the first thing I asked him was, who's going to be your support? And he said, and Roman told me, me and Dez are going to flex. And I'm like, that's the stupidest idea I've ever heard.
Don't do that.
I said, none of you guys can heal. Nobody on this team can heal properly. Vengeance played.
Well, Jordan could.
Well, they didn't have Jordan at the time.
Oh, okay.
You got people who can like body in 1v1s, but nobody who can support them. That's not a great team.
So then he messaged me like a day or two later. And he goes, "We just picked up Jordan." I said, "Okay, well, that's a good move, boy." So, but going back to Elevate here, I want to talk about the guys they brought over. I don't know much about them, so I'm going to ask for Miracle to help me out here. The first guy is they got Whoosh, they got Shu. Those are Xbox transfers. Sir James Parker is going to stay with them on PS4. But they brought over GR Crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Now, everyone is giving me such a hard time for when I talk about him on Console Corner. I don't know if you've seen the latest episode. They're giving me such a hard time when I'm talking about him in the All-Star ballot. He's listed under damage.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to be playing support for Elevate. And reports have been coming in that he's the nastiest support in the game right now. When I saw him play at HRX, he was the damage player. So, I mean, Miracle, is he a good support? Have you seen him play support?
Yeah, he's a good support. I've seen him play a little bit. I mean, not a ton. I've seen him play Genos, and he played that great.
I mean, Genos is a damage. So. And don't even say Furia. That's the same shit.
I haven't seen Furia. I haven't seen him play Furia. But there's no reason to be a great support. He's a good player.
Okay. The next guy they bring over, I'm going to skip over one of their starters. We're going to go to King Ludex, or Ludex, their sub/coach.
That's a sub, yeah.
What's he like? What's his champ pool consist of? What teams has he been on before? Like, give me some history of this guy. I've only seen him around on Twitter.
I don't think he's ever played on another team.
To me, he's like a Twitter warrior right now.
I think he's just a fun dude they want to be around. He's not a bad. He's a good player. I just don't expect him to play over the other guys they have. But he's just like a really funny guy that everybody likes.
Okay, all right. Seems like a good use of a roster spot there.
I mean, he can play.
Keep up the morale. It's fine.
I mean, I don't know the guy, so I can't comment on it.
Okay, yeah, no, he can play. I just haven't seen much of him in scrims, so I can't really give too in depth on him. But
okay, the next guy.
Support.
The next guy they're bringing in, okay, and the last guy who's going to be a starter. This team is mainly consisted of flex, by the way. Shu is listed as a flex. Whoosh is their front line. Crazy is their, or GR is their support. And then they have 3 flex. Shu, SJP, and then they have Emmett Payne. And someone said this in the All-Star ballot in a write-in. As a write-in, this was their write-in vote. Payne is better than wonderful. Then another... And then some other people have been telling me on Twitter, in DMs, in the ats, in the mentions or whatever. They've been telling me, and this is going to lead me to our next person we're going to talk about in our next subject here. It's going to be a PS4 team. Emmett Payne is the best player on console. I've had numerous reports of this.
I haven't played with him in a while, but he's really freaking good. He was really freaking good in Overwatch. I think he's one of the best Overwatch players I'd ever play against.
Miracle, is he better than Wonderful in Overwatch?
I don't know. I didn't really play against Payne and Wonderful like in their primes. I played them when they were like coming up.
Was he better when they were coming up?
I'd give a slight edge to Wonderful when they were coming up. I was teaming with Wonderful back then, so I'm probably a little bit biased. But what'd you
play in Overwatch?
He's an amazing player. I play DPS.
Okay, give me your top 2.
Farah and McCree.
Yeah, see, this is why your opinion is irrelevant right now. Of Emmett Payne. Okay.
He destroyed me, man. Payne destroyed me.
What did Payne play?
He played anything, really. He played his McCree was really good. His McCree is what stood out to me.
What about Genjis? Who's the best Genji on Xbox Overwatch?
Like that I played against? Like over time? It was
or someone you haven't played against who's just better than the person you've played against. I mean, I don't know.
I think a guy early on, Yan Templar, was really good. He was my teammate in the beginning.
What was his name?
I know Yan Templar. Nobody knows him. Nobody's gonna know him except for like old Overwatch guys. And then Ludex was really good. I think that's and Reluxes. Those are like guys. I don't know if like Relax is on their roster anymore, but he's an Elevate guy.
Yeah, he was there too. He took a picture of a Zim 4 in his hotel room and put it on Twitter.
Nice.
Smart move there by that guy.
They're joking. They're playing.
A $300 joke? Yeah, okay.
It's just it's maybe not the best joke.
Yeah, $300. Yeah, yeah. Hey guys, I bought a Zim 4 to take a picture of as a joke. Oh, good meme, pal. Good meme. You need a donation?
That's funny.
So yeah, I've been getting a lot of reports that Emmett Payne is better than Wonderful, and he's the best player in the world. I've also been hearing that the best player on console is not Wonderful, it's not SJP, it's not Swiper, it's not Emmett Payne, it's a kid named Harvey.
Oh, that's Flashpoints. Is he a support for them now? I don't know if he's playing.
He's gonna. I thought they'd bring him in as a sub. I've seen this guy on Twitter too. I haven't seen this guy play except for the small amount where he was on the Xbox team with Legacy when Legacy was on Xbox for that short amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Apparently, Harvey is the best player on console. He can play any role. He can play any role better than anybody who's the best at it. And he's going to be main roster.
I heard he would just be like kind of flexing in, but
He's main roster today, I'll tell you that.
is he? Yeah.
I only off B has to go to work.
Yeah, I know Harvey's really good. I mean, I've scrimmed against his team a bunch, and he was definitely one of their standout players every time I played against his team. So
I heard he was offered a spot from Vexed, but he doesn't like them.
I haven't heard that, but
This is just rumor. I mean, I don't know if it's true. But
I don't know. I don't know.
Another person that was offered a spot reportedly from Vex was Swiper. He declined it.
I've heard that too.
To go where?
To be on their team.
No, I mean like where does like Swiper? Let's say Swiper declines that. Where does he go?
So reportedly, Swiper, of course, is not on Flashpoint anymore.
Yeah.
If I guess he made a team on PS4, but it's no longer a thing. Short-lived. So the team on PS4 was called the Rejects. It was Swiper, Akimbo Mystic, who's been teamed with Swiper.
I know the name.
Okay.
Yeah.
Filleid.
Okay.
Filleid YT. Fanatics was going to join him.
Yep, I know Fanatics.
Sinner's Demise.
All right.
He's the best console Fortnite player there is. I'm not even gonna joke about that. He's the number one console Fortnite player in the world.
Damn.
Hands down. That guy's a god in that game. And then their sub would be Unlimited Fails. But apparently that team not doing so well, I guess, or I don't know. I mean, Sinner's probably just going to play Fortnite. Akimbo doesn't want to grind Paladins. He's said that before, so I mean, I don't know how well that's going to go. And then apparently he was scrimming Xbox teams with an Xbox roster with Swiper, Fanatics, Lightning Pig, who goes under the name Wildcard now.
Oh, that's a downgrade.
Yui and Potent.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Chris, let's get your. But you know those PS4 guys if he ran with that roster. Besides Fanatics, but he came from Xbox. So Filleid, Sinner's Demise, Akimbo Mystic, Swiper, and Fanatics. What do you think about that lineup? Could it potentially dethrone Flashpoint?
I don't know if it could dethrone him, but I definitely feel that
It would also have to go through not only Brutal Fissure, who's weaker now after losing Itek, who joined the Midnight Oligarchs which they were already the number 2 team. Now they're even stronger with iTeek. So, I mean, does that team, that Swiper roster right there, have a chance against those 3 teams? Flashpoint, FY Midnight, and Brutal Fissure?
Swiper and Akimbo are strong people, but I don't know if those two.
I guess it also depends on what Akimbo's going to be playing. In Valencia, he was the support. At HRX, he's a tank.
I think that that team, if they did and they grinded and they worked, could easily make it into the league. I feel like they are I feel like they could be a top 4 team, but as Takedown, Flashpoint, Takedown, Midnight Oligarchs.
Are they qualifying for LAN? That's my question.
No, I don't see it.
Okay.
I see them coming third, maybe with some upsets second, but first, I don't see that.
Okay, now moving to the Xbox side, if he were to play with that roster on Xbox, is he getting anywhere, Miracle?
It's a really strong roster on paper.
I don't.
You never know.
I have only seen Yui on the Mixer stream like once or twice. Lightning Pig, I think once or twice maybe. Fanatics, I don't think I've ever seen him play, but apparently he's a really good frontline.
Fanatics is really good, yeah.
And
it's a really good team.
I don't even know who Potent is, so I can't even comment on that guy.
Potent's a really strong blaster player. That team is good. I think they would give Vexed a run for their money, but once again, I think I'd pick Vexed.
Okay, so you'd pick Vex, right?
Mm-hmm.
So here's my question with that: who's the best team to upset Vexed right now?
The EU teams at the top, I think, change a lot, but
They do.
I would if Swiper came, I think I'd give Swiper's team the best chance.
Okay, but Swiper's team's not there, obviously, today, I don't think.
I'd have to see the rosters. Slop's team was really good. Slop's team almost beat them actually in the qualifiers.
Meatball.
Yeah. Team, yep. With Meatball. That team was actually really good. That team was taking maps off us in scrims. That team would have definitely been the team, but maybe whatever remnants of that team find someone, I think.
Who was on that team?
It was Potent, Slop, Fanatics, I think.
Fanatics,
sorry.
I mean, I have so I have rosters.
I think they had Harvey too.
I have rosters for OTP, 5-stack casuals, Bulldogs, Unstoppable, and Necro Gaming.
Well, to be real, the EU tournament started like an hour ago, so we should see who was in the finals with them, right? The tournament's probably over already.
It's OTP beat Need Healing in the bronze match, right, and my dad cuts my hair is in the finals against Vex Gaming.
That's Lightning Pig's team, right? Wild card.
I'm assuming.
Okay. Whatever roster that is, whatever roster Lightning Pig put around himself is probably the best challenge.
Okay. Okay. Who's the best in the Xbox NA region that could potentially upset you?
There's 3 teams I can think of right now. There is
Press Y,
which is Aryavan, Asclepius, Destronite. I'm pretty sure they're sticking with Regan, and I suck at Paladins.
You said they're sticking with Regan, but I heard rumors that they're seeking to try and nab Comedy.
I don't think that's happening.
Where's Comedy going?
On the next team. I think if I was comedy, I'd join this team of Hilltime, Styles.
Satisfies.
I don't think Sat's in there. Hilltime, Styles. Fuck, I forget the rest. I honestly can't remember, but that team. Oh,
Why-
Dovahkiin. Richie. So it would be like Baldy.
Dovahkiin's not on CWTB anymore?
No, Dovo's gone. Dovo changes teams like every 3 days.
What?
He's not toxic or anything. He just changes teams. I don't know. And then
He's not toxic, but he leaves teams every 3 days.
he really isn't. There, he's probably a teammate, but anyways. And then Kev Falcon's team, I think it's like Farmer GC, which is Kev Falcon,
Kirsty's Hands, GC,
Kirsty's Hands,
Kev,
yeah.
Bishop, Nasty Wolf, and Ryan Hubie. I don't know who Ryan is.
That's Fluffy Koala X, who is a support player.
Oh, okay.
Kev Falcon's brother. Those are the top 3 NA teams among us.
What about With Fear?
Is that like Zergo?
Flavor
I don't think they even
Fear,
play the
Sign
game.
Press, G-Pan, Velocity, High Noons, and GOOP.
Oh. They play and they're good players, but I don't think they grind. I don't think they scrim a lot, so I don't see them performing all too well.
Who's
They'll probably lock up 5th for sure, but
who's Z Flash?
it's Run Pop Shots, if you know who that is. If
Oh.
that name means anything. Run or 4 Pop Shots, I don't know. It's all the same person to me.
I've heard 4 pop shots.
He's been on like a 6th to 4th place team like forever.
He's got a lot of write-in votes in the All-Star ballot.
Okay.
They vote. I'm just saying. I didn't know who he was. And
Yeah.
He's got the most write-in votes among anybody in the All-Star ballot.
Wow.
He's in dead last in the normal voting,
Interesting.
but he's got the most write-in votes.
Yeah. I mean, if you have to pick like 1 or 2 for each category, what is he listed as a DPS?
Yeah.
I mean, he's a solid player. I just don't know.
I
How
mean,
you
they-
list him above like Cool Matt, Skeppy. Like,
Skeppy and Cool Matt get the 2 votes, and then they write in Z Flash.
really? Yeah. I don't know.
All right, so where's comedy going? Like, I want to ask Miracle, where do you see him going on Xbox if he plays on Xbox? And I'm gonna ask Chris, where do you see him going on PS4? Because he could. I mean, to me, his best options are to stay on PS4. And there's 2 things he can do on PS4. He can join the 4 kids that got kicked off of Elevate. Tommy, Neil, Boom, Sorrow. They can grab a 5th in. I'm hearing that they're grabbing E-Knives, who's the other Shutter. He's like Boom's friend. They can grab him.
Right.
They can
And
grab.
that was Onslaught sub, right?
Yes, at the first land. Yes,
Yeah.
they could grab him. They could grab EMF and make with Atomic Boom. That's basically what Runaways 2.0, the Flying Dual Shock. You can grab Comedy. That's a good lineup. Or Comedy can go a totally different route and bring players out of retirement. I mean, he's teamed with Evil Shadow before. He could bring him back. Evil Shadow's a great player. He could bring Objection back. He could bring Unique Strokes back. Someone with Comedy's caliber could get these guys to come back. He could potentially even get Satisfies. Satisfies has a PS4. He can get him to come over.
Yeah.
I mean,
I could see that. I'll just be shocked if he doesn't join Richie and Hilltime.
Richie,
Xbox.
but here's the thing with Richie. Richie, who blocked me on Twitter, by the way, I don't know why. I've never said a word to that kid.
Okay.
Has publicly said, if they're not paying players, I don't want to play.
A lot of people say that. A lot of people still play.
I mean, yeah, but
It's fun, man.
but here's the thing:
And you're
if he
still getting
joins
paid.
Hilltime and Richie on Xbox, who's their other two? Style.
Probably Dovahkiin and Styles
Okay.
would be their front lines.
Can they beat Press Y? Can they beat the other two teams you named? Can they beat you guys?
I think they can take maps off of all the teams you named.
That's all you need is one map.
That's all you need. It's ridiculous, but it's
That's all you need.
don't.
Okay, so Chris, where do you see him going if he stays on PS4? Or do you what do you see him doing?
Comedy. He's smart. He'll probably weigh all his options, search every little nook and cranny. I don't see him pulling people out of retirement. I'm gonna be honest.
I mean, he's been to 2 lands. He's 0-2.
He's gonna.
0-1 if you just count finals. I mean hey, it's my job to say the facts and the stats, okay? I mean, you don't like hearing that you're 0-1, that's the truth. I mean,
Go back, make yourself 1-1.
it's not my fault you lost. What does he do on PS4? I guess it comes down to which console does he have a better chance of qualifying for a LAN for?
That's a tough one itself.
He can play damage. He can play support really well, and he's one of the best tanks that we've ever seen. So I mean, does he have a better chance of qualifying for a LAN on Xbox right now or PS4? That's the question he has to figure out, and then from there he can decide if he needs to build a team or if there's rosters that he can join.
I think either way, whether he builds a roster on either or joins one, that he'll probably at least make the league. I can see him doing that without much struggle. It's the next part.
You have to think of it this way. I know Miracle is thinking it this way. Miracle, tell me if I'm wrong. You're not thinking, oh, we got to make this league.
No, nobody just wants to make the league. Everybody wants to make that number 1 in the league. Everybody wants that land spot. Nobody just wants
Yeah.
Making
I'm
the
already
league
thinking
is
about
not good enough.
I'm already thinking about Elevate.
You cut out there. What were you saying?
I said I'm already thinking about Elevate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Forget the league.
Is really strong. That team is really strong.
You're not worried about making the league. I don't know. I just want to see where Comedy ends up. I mean, is he a captain? Can we check the Discord?
Oh, it does say that he's a captain. TBB.
The Baldy Bunch. That's his old team.
Yeah, so.
That was with Evil Shadow.
Yeah. Whatever he does, I see him in the league, but I don't know if I see him at LAN. Unless he joins with the old Elevate squad and they pull something out. That's something I can see.
I mean, if they grab Styles and satisfies Dovahkiin, and that's pretty much 2 people from the old Elevate squad right there.
I'm guessing Chris was talking about like Neil, Atomic Boom, though, right, Chris?
Yeah, all the people that like Elevate just dropped.
The PS4 Elevate guys?
Yeah.
Okay.
If he joins up with them, I can see maybe something happening. But
All right, let's talk PS4 here for a second, and one of these is going to be an Xbox question as well. Who's the biggest two free agents you see right now across EU or NA on Xbox? Miracle.
Well, it's hard to tell who's free agents. I mean, that's going to change within the next couple hours. But if I had to, I guess I'd say Hilltime and Balti are the biggest names not locked down.
I mean, they can count as PS4 as well.
Either one, yeah. I mean, they both flex. They both do both. But those are the biggest names that I know have been playing on Xbox recently.
I know for PS4 we've got two pretty pretty small guys, I guess, but they're pretty big at the same time. Chris might know these names. Unlimited Fails and the Filthy Taco. The Filthy Taco was actually pretty good, decent at the game. He was pretty good. Good role player. But he just actively posted in the Discord looking for teams. So that was interesting to see that. But who's your Miracle? If you had to guess, who's your number 2 team in PS4 NA?
PS4 NA?
Yeah.
Whatever team Boom and Neil put together. But those are like the only people I know, to be fair.
Well, they created a pickup team called the Oni Channers.
The Oni Chan? Okay.
Their logo is that picture of Atomic Boom's eyes. It's Boom, Sorrow, Tommy, E-Knives, and Neil.
Okay. That's the team I guess I would pick to be second.
I mean, that's a really good lineup. They've got LAN experience on there now. You might not know this, but Boom was on the Invig team that qualified for Valencia. He just didn't get to go because of passport problems.
Yeah, I think I heard that. Yeah.
That's another thing. There's never been a PS4 NA full roster at a LAN.
Wow.
Only one time. There's been 4 LANs. Only one time there was 0 subs, and that was Blight.
Which is Xbox players.
Well, I count Shu as a PS4 player now. He's been here for 3 qualifiers.
Okay.
I count Whoosh as a PS4 guy because he's been here for 2 of the 3 qualifiers. Shu was here for 2 of the 3 qualifiers, I guess, but two out of 3. They were both here for 2 out of 3. They both played on Elevate for the spring finals.
Mm-hmm.
So I count them as PS4 guys now because they're still here.
I think that's fair. Yeah, I don't see them moving either.
I mean, like Emmett Payne, Ludex, Parker, they just transferred.
Mm-hmm.
So those are Xbox guys. If you're a fresh transfer, you're an Xbox guy. At the time, the entire Blight roster was fresh Xbox transfers.
Mm-hmm.
And they had a full roster there. PS4 NA was Invigorate during Valencia. Gooch Mob was a sub. He was on Mobtown. He got to go. The other Shutter 750 was a sub who got to go.
That's a dirty word here, Shutter 750. That's a dirty word.
They took 3. What was it? 3 guys? No, 2 guys. They took 2 subs that were from Mobtown, Shutter 750 and Gooch Mob. The 3 players from the original Invig roster that they took were Graham or Graham Lama, which was Graham. Whoa, Chris, what's that noise? They took Graham, Unique Strokes, and Sorrow. And they got pounded. They had 2 subs. HRX, they had the Blight roster. Spring Masters, they had to take Neil instead of Jordan. And then this most recent one at Summer Finals, they had to take SJP instead of Tommy. So, I mean, there's never really been a full PS4 NA roster.
Yeah.
Oh, I just got the rosters here. My Dad Cuts My Hair is Lightning Pig, Fanatics, Potent, Swiper,
There it is.
Busy Finger, and the Omega Cat.
I didn't expect Busy Finger or Omega.
And look at this. Vexed's roster for today is Welsh, Narc, World, Lexi, Slop.
Yui.
They have 3 subs. Yui.
3? Oh my god.
3 subs listed on the roster. Yui, Blokely, and Bent Tomato.
Bloke?
Okay.
When's the last time Blokely played this game? HRX?
Oh man.
I don't even like I don't play too much with the EU guys, so I'm not sure who that is. I've heard the name though.
Blokely's the guy they took to HRX, and at the time he hadn't played the game in 3 months.
Okay.
That's why I asked, when's the last time he played the game, HRX?
Probably. When was the last time before that? Well, October. That's interesting that Bloke's on there.
The team Need Healing made it to the semis. That's above them, Bizjop, Tylo, Smutney, Slaya, and Gobble Schlops.
I imagine that team will get third unless there's like a 4th team that I hadn't heard about. But that team's solid.
I mean, OTP probably has behind Vexed, even in front of Vex, the best tank duo in Naiju and Ninja Zen.
Okay.
Am I wrong there?
I haven't scrimmed much against either of them.
So Swiper's playing on the team that is going against Vex in the finals right now.
I think that was his best chance. I think that's his best chance to get back to LAN.
And we'll see them on Monday.
We'll see how
guess so.
that all pans out.
It'll be interesting.
Oh, yes.
I'm excited.
I assume Vexed wins, but I could see it being close.
All right. We got about 30 minutes left. You guys good with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's talk All-Star. First, actually, before we dive into this popularity contest that's pissing everyone off.
Everyone's going crazy because
Everybody's
they're
upset. They're not
voted to the
winning. Or
top.
they're not on.
I mean, guys, what was it? 2004, Yao Ming made the NBA All-Star game. He played 5 games all season.
You're cutting out for me. One sec.
I didn't hear what you
I'm gonna
said.
move.
I mean, Yao Ming made the All-Star game one year where he only played 5 regular season games.
Oh yeah.
That's because the Chinese vote. The Chinese vote always gets the Chinese players in.
I lived in China in 2006. There was not a single poster of him anywhere. I saw Damon Jones when he was on the Cavs because he was sponsored by Chinese basketball shoes. But yeah, they probably voted for Yao Ming.
Yeah.
But it's a popularity contest. I mean, more exposure on the Mixer streams, more exposure at LAN will get you those things.
Yeah. Also, the fact that there's like only 1 or 2 votes per thing, like of course you're not going to get votes. Like, I'm sorry, but the mid-tier players are just barely going to see any votes.
Well, the top 4. Okay, so right now it's split between console and regions, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the next one, the top 4 people from each category is going to go into their console, right? So you'll have, the top 4 PS4 EU front lines and the top PS4 NA front lines, and they'll be put together for just the PS4 front lines.
Okay.
And same with Xbox. But here's the catch. You can pick right now you pick 2 front lines, 2 damages, 1 support, 1 flex, right?
Right.
This time, PS4 versus Xbox, you'll pick 1 front line, you'll pick 1 damage, you'll pick 2 flex, and then everyone on the list will be what's that? 1 front line, 1 damage, 1 support, 2 flex. That's 5. And then everyone will be listed again, and you just pick 1 person overall as your sub.
Oh wow.
And double votes won't be counted. So if they vote Miracle as their Xbox support, they can't pick Miracle as the sub.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yep.
So here's one thing I want to talk about before we get into the All-Star. I know we're jumping around here, but put it this way. Thomas and Friends was my pick to be the second best team. They could have contended for first, in my opinion, in PS4 NA. Okay? They've got Galaxy, who's the best blaster on PS4, if you ask me. They have Business as their front line. They have Cop as their support. Fiery Impact is their second damage. And then they have Guiba as their flex. Chris, what do you think about that lineup?
I think it's nice.
Okay,
Fire
now
Impact, Galaxies, it's a good group of people that you have there.
and their subs are Leo Sukio, Izzy Mitchell, and Geppetto. Geppetto's a really good player, but he's new to the competitive scene. So, he has to work on his comms. He has to work on his strats, all of that stuff. So he's like the raw potential that they're molding into a competitive player. Izzy Mitchell, really good game sense, good mechanical skills. Hasn't had much competitive play. Has had a little. Sukio, who was a starter for them for low expectations, he's dropped down to the sub position, mainly because they have Galaxy to play the BK instead. They have Business to play the front line instead. They have Cop to play the support instead. So Sukio is kind of learning new champions to deepen his champ pool. And then, so you like that lineup, Chris?
I do.
Miracle, have you heard any of those names before?
I've heard the names, but I don't know anything about them.
Okay, that's a good lineup, Chris. Now let me tell you, what if Fire Impact can't play because he just got a new job. He's got school coming up, a bunch of IRL stuff. So now he's taking out the lineup. How do you replace that?
Comedy. Other than comedy, he's a Fiery Impact is just like his name. He's a Fiery Impact.
All right, let me tell you what they'll be doing tomorrow. They have picked up Hatsu Chibi.
Not sure who that is.
They moved him to the support role. He played with Fire Impact on Jalapeno Hotties, who was the team that faced Elevate as Misfortune in the finals for the summer qualifier.
Yeah, all right.
Now, they put Hatsuchibi in at the support role. They move Cop to the flex role. They move Guiba to the damage role. Is that good enough? Is that fitting for you? I just don't see them being as successful at Hatsuchibi.
No.
Miracle.
No.
Yep.
If you had to pick up a support for your team, what are you looking for in a support? Champ pool wise.
For my team, everything. You have to play everything.
Okay.
You need to be able to play literally every healing champ.
Okay. This person, top 3 support champs in this order: Saris, Furia, Genos. Is that good enough?
I mean, if it's his top three, it's
We're
okay,
just talking
but
about the top three. We're just talking about
if
top
his-
three. Top three.
If it's
Top
his
three.
only three, that's really bad.
No. We're just talking top three.
That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. That's what you'll see most of the time.
Okay, Furia's permabanned. Now it's just Ceres
Well-
Genos.
Yeah, I mean, you got to hope you get one of those. I think most supports, like their top three, look something like that.
His Grover is fourth. He's got a good Grover. His Pip is fifth. He's got a really decent Pip. After that, it's Grokking Damba.
I mean, Kenny Damba. I mean, that's definitely important.
His Damba's level 11.
That's really bad.
His win rate on Ceres is over 70%.
That's really good.
His win rate on Furia is over 60%. His win rate on Genos is over 50%. His win rate with Grover is over 50%. His win rate with Pip is over 50%. His win rate with Grok is below 40%. His win rate with Ying is below 40%. And his win rate with Damba is under 30%.
You said the Dombo's level 11. That just he's inexperienced. Dombo's a very difficult character, especially on the sticks.
I don't got a problem playing the Damba. I'm just kidding. No, I understand that, but I just think that it's if you're not going to move one of your three subs to your main roster and you're going to actively seek someone, Comedy's out there. Preferably, they need a hit scan. They lost their hit scan. They lost their flank player. Who plays flanks and hit scans? Objection, Unique Strokes. Not so much Unique Strokes, but Objection, Comedy. If you even want to dive into players that have been playing the game for a while, but not competitively, but they're good players. I mean, I've been saying, look at people like O'Neal.
Yeah.
I mean, other than Comedy, who do you tell them to go out after, Chris? Since you know the PS4 guys better than Miracle.
If Fiery has to not be there and Comedy won't.
Is there any way they could look over to Xbox NA?
That's what I was going to say as well. I mean,
I'm like, there's not many people that could even keep up with Fiery.
Okay, but Miracle, who would you recommend? If they came to you because they don't know anybody and they needed someone to, introduce them to someone or recommend people, who would you tell them? They lost their guy who could play their hit scans, who could play their flanks, who could play their Cassies and their Shaolins. Galaxy can play all of these characters as well, but he's mainly their blaster and their hit scan. They put him on the Victor, the BK, the Drogos, the Willow, things of that nature, and they throw Fiery on those flanks, those really aggressive damages.
On Xbox NA, there aren't a lot, versatile DPS. But if you're looking for someone to play like blasters and flanks, if like Hilltime doesn't make this team with Baldy and Richie and those guys, like Hilltime would be my number one choice. I think Hilltime's extremely underrated right now, like criminally. I think he's one of the best players on Xbox.
He came to PS4 before and he was saying that he's like the best EV or whatever.
Yeah, that's accurate.
Yeah, well, I remember scrimming his team and I was playing Mako and I hooked the EV out of mid fucking flight about 6 times on Bright Marsh through the fucking window. So that's all I have to say.
He should have plugged in his keyboard.
Well, he should have banned Makoa like every other PS4 NA team does when they see me.
But no, Hilltime's still really good. I mean,
he is.
I would take
I'm not saying he's not. I've seen him play firsthand. So, I mean, he's really good. But, I mean, do you think Thomas and friends are going to reach out to Xbox? Rumors had it they were going after TKO Ghost. But 2 of the people on the team said, I don't want TKO. I'd rather have Hatsuchibi in the lineup we have right now. I mean, if you
It's
go,
important.
I think if they don't reach out to Xbox NA like Hilltime or someone else, I think they should look at people like O'Neal. O'Neal can play the Strix. He can play the Buck. He can play the Zin. He is a Lex main. He can play Victor. He can play the Tyra. I mean, he can play these hit scans and these aggressive flanks. I just need they need to look at other options. I just don't think the one that they have right now is fine-tuned.
I think if you're on a team right
Especially since you have to move Cop from his primary position. He's a good damage player. He's a good flex. His BK win rate's incredible. But he's just so good on the support. I honestly think that he is one of the top 3 supports on console right now, let alone PS4 NA. I mean, if you brought Ralkion back, Ralkion would be better than him. If Ball and Barry was on a decent team, he would be better than him. If Jordan was on a team and could go to LAN, then he would be better than them. I don't think Neo is better than those guys. Everybody I named, Ralkion, Jordan, Cop, Ball and Barry. I think Neo is below them because his variety in champ pool. I mean, Miracle, you've played against Neil.
Mm-hmm.
Is he as good as everyone believes and thinks that he is to you?
I think he's good. I mean, I don't really know what.
I'm not saying he's not good. He's a good player. He's a good support player.
I mean, where do people on PS4 rank him? Like that's like important to know, I guess.
He's number 1 right now, but I mean the popularity. He's been to 2 LANs now.
Who are the other PS4 supports? I've played against Ralkion like once.
I mean, there's
Jordan I teamed with, but kind of know what he is. I'd kind of consider them even. Maybe Jordan a little bit better individually, but Neil probably a better teammate.
Well, I'm not speaking on teammate terms. I've never teamed with any of these guys.
That matters. That's like half of support.
Well, I know that matters in the team, environment, but I don't get to see that part, so.
Right. Hard to judge, I guess.
And nobody ever wants to talk about the bad teammates.
Yeah, that's gonna get you yelled at it on Twitter.
Oh yeah. All right, let's talk. Let's talk All-Stars.
Okay.
I know you guys are excited. Okay. So, did you guys vote?
Of course.
Obvious, yes.
Miracle, did you vote for yourself?
Yeah. How would I not? What?
I'm pretty sure I voted for Miracle.
I know a lot of people that did not vote for themselves.
They're lying.
That one vote for that one random guy that's an FA, that was him.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, who do you guys think are like the biggest surprises to you in the polls?
I'm sorry, who did you cut out? What you cut out? Who do we think are what?
Who do you think are like the biggest upsets? Like who is someone that you didn't expect to get as many votes as they did? Well, here we'll start with like we'll just go down the list.
I'd have to see the polls. Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
remember.
we can go with the polls. You want to do top 4?
Yeah, it's just LAN players, right? Like for the
I
most
mean,
part.
LAN players are leading everything. Yes.
Yeah.
So PS4 NA frontline in order from 1 to 4. You have Whoosh, Sorrow, Roman Rulers, and Evil Shadow. Now Sorrow is about to get passed up by Roman Rulers. They are tied right now with the same amount of votes. Whoosh has a comfortable lead by 59 votes.
As he should. Yeah.
But Sorrow, Roman Rulers, Evil Shadow, like, is that how you would rank those guys, Chris? Personally, I would put Evil Shadow above. I'll put him in second behind Whoosh. Chris? Oh, we lost Chris.
Oh, he's gone.
Oh, I got him. Chris.
I don't know what happened. My Discord just died.
No. All right, so the top 4 PS4 NA frontlines in the polls right now are Whoosh, Sorrow, Roman Rulers, and Evil Shadow. Roman Rulers is in third, but he has the same amount of votes as Sorrow and could pass him if someone voted for him. Okay, so is that the order you would put them in, Chris, for PS4 NA frontlines? I mean, technically I have Evil Shadow right behind Whoosh for second place. So I mean,
Roman's good, don't get me wrong, but third, I don't.
he is in front of Business, Nightmare, Hated on Xbox, which is Akatsuki, Miracle, Roadhog Hooks.
Yeah, I know him.
Roadhog Hooks, Grapple, Vengeance, Garcia.
Is Grapple that low?
Yeah, he's got 8%. He's
Does he not play?
He doesn't play anymore.
Okay, so there you go. That explains.
He was a tank. He was a frontline main on PC. He came to PS4. He was a blaster main. He played like BK, Eevee, Drogo, stuff like that. And then he came back again as a tank main.
Yeah.
How was Slither on Xbox, Miracle?
He was solid.
I heard he's toxic.
Solid tank. What's he doing on PS4?
I don't think he's on a team. He has 4% of the. He has 5% of the votes. You know who I'm surprised is as low as they are in this? Poner.
How's Poner doing?
I mean, Swarmso's down there too, which is Little Big White Boy. EMF's down there. Enemy's down there. But Poner's he's pretty far down there. I think he's 9th from the bottom with 6 votes.
Yeah.
All right, so PS4 NA damage. You got Tommy, Richie, Objection, and Galaxy.
I didn't hear.
It's Tommy, Richie, Objection, Galaxy. Fiery is right below. Fiery at one point was in 3rd place. Galaxy was in 3rd place. Objection is in 3rd place now. These guys have been swapping between those 3, and they're all catching up on Richie slowly.
I like how that is. I like that number. I like that rank.
You believe that Tommy and Richie are better than Objection?
Maybe now.
Miracle, have you seen Objection
What?
play?
No, I've never.
I haven't seen Objection in a while.
The kid hasn't played in what 3-4 months, and he's still getting 3rd in the voting.
It was a monster.
Did
Tommy,
you say Atomic Boom at all?
no, he's in the flex.
Oh, PS4 NA Flex is like so freaking bloated. You have like Parker's shoe.
Tommy wanted to be in the flex.
Tommy wanted to be in Flex too. Oh my god.
Yeah, how would that would have worked out? He's got okay. So Whoosh is leading the front lines with 85 votes. There's been 149 votes. Okay, so he's got 85. Tommy's in first with 64 for damages. Now, Neil's in first for supports with only 58. So the top 4 for the healers, the supports, would be Neil, Raukian, Jordan, Ballenberry.
Yeah.
I personally voted for Raukian.
Yeah. I think I. Me too. I think I did too.
I'd imagine Jordan's kind of not like I'd kind of expect him to be a little bit higher, but like I assume not a lot of people like him on PS4, right?
I mean, probably not.
Yeah, he's a good player.
He is. He's a good player. I've said that dozens of times. So NA Flex, the most bloated of all the voting. You've got Shu in first, SJP. Boom was in third, but he's
Payne's in there. Payne's in there, isn't he?
no, he's in the Xbox one.
Oh, he's in the Xbox. Okay.
So at the time, they didn't announce their roster. So
Yeah.
all right, so you got Shu, SJP, Dez, and then Atomic Boom in fourth. Dez passed him up for third place. So I mean the Nan handlers got two people in the top four of their respective roles.
It's pretty good for not going to LAN, right?
Yeah.
I assume like LAN dominates other than those guys, I'm guessing.
Yeah. Exactly right. Neil's leading with Shu is leading with 45 votes. I think that's the least among all people leading their things.
Yeah, but he's got to compete against like Parker and Boom.
Parker's got 31. Boom's only got 15.
Surprised Parker's so low.
Parker's killer. Yeah.
EU Frontline. I mean, obviously, it's I only op and Legacy at first and second.
Yeah, not surprising.
Op has 105 votes. Legacy's behind him with 101. Then there's Ali Lol 14 from FY Midnight Oligarchs and Alex Kidd from Brutal Fissure.
It's nothing really too surprising there.
I think the only surprising thing is Vcon 1 is like farther down than what he should be. Vcon 1 is a nasty frontline player. EU Damage. This guy has the most votes out of anybody in the freaking All-Star. Prosper Logic. Can you believe he has the most votes? Trenzik had the most votes for like the first 3 days.
I'm not that surprised. No.
No.
Who is he competing against in the?
That's the thing.
In
the people that he's competing against are not better than him, but they're really good.
But I mean, like, who is it? What are the names?
Okay, so Itik.
Okay. For
the Midnight Oligarchs now.
Mm-hmm.
And he got stolen. He was on Brutal Fissure. Culture Scred is in third. Donka, which is Don Canolo, is on FY Midnight Oligarchs. He's in fourth. Nico Noob from Game of Throws is in fifth. The Rain, Lord Tito, Tikatsi, Jose the Pizza, and Sir.
But like, how are you gonna go through that list? Like, no offense to those guys, but Prosper like played well enough to earn an MVP at the LAN they beat us.
Oh yeah, definitely. But
like,
here's
Prosper's a phenomenal player.
I mean, if you're
votes, how is one of them not gonna go to Prosper?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But if you're
there's like some of these votes, I'm like surprised aren't unanimous. Like NA Flex, like or like NA DPS, how is Wonderful not unanimous? Or actually, no, he's competing against Pain, isn't he?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Never mind. But like Prosper should be unanimous.
You're not a PS4 guy. That's the
yeah. But dude, he's like, look at what he's done.
But you get 2 votes in that category at this time.
Right. But so like one of them goes to him because he's probably like he's the best damage on PS4, right? Like or PS4 EU.
PS4 EU, yeah.
Right. So how does one of your votes not go to him?
I would say he's the best damage on PS4.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you count Goodlad as a flex.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Donka's really good. Itik's really good. Culture's really good. These guys are really good. Like, they're fraggers, man.
Sure, but like, are you going to give both of your votes to both of like 2 of those guys rather than like one to you know what I mean? Like,
nah, I'm going to give
like,
one to Prosper.
Exactly. You give one to Prosper.
Prosper's got 109 votes.
Yeah, and he should have more.
Which is
out of 149, he's only missing 40.
He should have more.
Exactly. We should have 135 with Matt.
All right, check this out. The bottom guy in PS4 EU damage has 6 votes. That's more than the bottom 9 people in NA damage.
Wow.
All right, PS4 EU support. That's one of the unanimous ones. It went to Storm Avatar.
Mm-hmm.
But he only has 95 of the votes. Now, the only way this is not unanimous is because the second place guy who plays for Midnight Oligarchs is the second best support. He could arguably be one of the top 3 on PS4 total, top 5 console-wise. Knox Mave.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard that name.
The guy's insane. He's a killer Genos. He's a really good pip. I've been hearing things that he's getting nasty on Furia now too. So I mean that's not so hard, but. And then you got Tariq, who was the number 1 GM on PS4, and he's only got 18 votes in the poll. And then Deuce, Nacho, and Rotrex. Rotrex actually has 0 votes. I think he's one of the last people that still hasn't been voted for. PS4 EU Flex. This one is kind of unanimous, but for the top 2 people. I mean, the third place guy has 9% of the votes.
Who is it? Good Lad and
Swiper. 35% each. So 59 votes for Good Lad and 52 for Swiper. And then third and fourth is Unlimited Fails and Sir Benji. Let's see here. Xbox NA Frontline. Okay, this is where you will shine, Miracle. You have Trenzik, Styles, Sam, and Dovahkiin.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like the correct order, right?
Yeah. Trenzik should be unanimous. Trent's just like Prosper.
Well, he's only got 102.
Yeah. Once again, he deserves more.
Whoa, it means someone passed him up. He's no longer second anymore.
Ooh, Skeppy?
No, the 105. Who was it? Prosper's got 109. He's still in first. I only op B passed him up.
Who passed him up? Skep?
I only op B.
Op. There you go.
I mean, Legacy's only 1 vote behind him now. Xbox NA damage, of course. Number 1 is Skeppy. He's got 103. Skep. Oh, Skeppy just passed Trenzik. Trenzik's not even top 3 anymore.
Wow, Trenzik sucks.
He was top 3 when I did the show on Thursday.
That kid's getting dropped. 1 sec.
Cool Matt's number 2 with 67 votes. Then you got Soldier Bot and GR Crazy. Are you ready to hear who's in 5th place with 11% of the votes?
You're cutting out really bad for me.
Oh, sorry. Do you want to know who's in 5th place for Xbox NA damage with 11% of the votes?
Yeah, of course.
It goes Skeppy, Cool Matt, Soldier Bot, GR Crazy. 5th place is Destro.
Okay.
He's in front of Kev Falcon, Ari, No Concerns, G-Pan, Tensai, Clever Pup, FM Snail, and I'm Z Flash.
I would disagree, but he's really good at what he plays. He's really good at it. So
moving forward, Xbox NA support. Miracle's in dead last.
Oh, unlucky.
I'm just kidding. You're in first. You have 94 votes. You have 63% of the votes in your category. Behind you is Sats with 11%.
So it's close.
Okay.
Miracle, Sat, Llamas at IHOP, and then Asclepius.
I'm glad. I'm not, me and Sat aren't buddies, but I'm glad Sat got second. He was really good.
I think he's the best Saris on console.
Yes, I think so.
Okay, so after that, you have Llamas at IHOP in 3rd and Asclepius in 4th.
You're cutting out for me. Who is in 3rd?
Llamas at IHOP.
Okay.
And then Asclepius is 4th.
I'd switch those two.
Michael is in 5th from UND.
Where's Koala?
He's in dead last. Koala's
There's no way. Oh, his team isn't voting for him on purpose. That's funny.
He's got 3% of the votes. Ahead of him is OCFB from Second Nature, and then you have Siski from the One Tricks. He's tied with OCFB. So if he gets one more vote, he'll be then tied with Siski and Michael.
That's funny.
They're not voting for him on purpose.
Can I give negative votes to Fluffy? Can I do that in the write-in? Take one vote away. No, it's just a joke. It's just a joke. Me and him and like their team joke about how supports are useless. So we're just along for the ride.
Yeah, I've seen some of those things on Twitter.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, you like the little how it feels to chew 5 gum?
Yes. Is that the Treppy video?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, I was editing. I was like, after every LAN, I cut the videos and then cut them game by game.
Yeah.
And silence them so that, if I ever need to use them or people want to see the VODs, I can give it to them.
Mm-hmm.
But so if you ever need the VODs, but yeah, I was really bored in between doing that. So I'm like, hey man, I got an idea.
Oh man.
Yeah, and then I was like, I'm gonna do another one of these. And then I found the video of Shu turning his head and staring at Whoosh, and I'm like, yeah, this will work.
That's love at first sight.
NA Flex for Xbox, wonderful with 63%. Behind him is 13% with Emmett Payne, and then Bishop, and then Island Shots.
I'd say that's probably accurate. Who's the rest of the list?
Diedrich, is that how you say his name?
Diedrich.
GC.
Okay.
Tries T Loves BR.
Yeah.
And then UND 0.
Okay, that's probably close to accurate. I'd probably put GC a little bit higher, but I'm like super GC biased.
Okay, so Xbox EU Frontline. This is actually the closest contested out of everything there is. The last place guy has 13% of the votes.
Oh my god, what the heck?
There's 8 people in this.
That's crazy.
I told you they have one of the best tank duos. That team.
Ninja and
Naiju.
Naiju?
Yeah, not your Jew. My Jew. Naiju. But they both have 13% and they're both in last place. To be more accurate,
that's crazy.
They both have 20 votes apiece. 20 votes last place.
20 votes for last? That's crazy, dude.
The top 4. Lexi's in first, and he only has 79 votes.
All right. Trank has got to be up there. Dan.
No, Trank's in the flex position.
Really? What?
He's a flex, apparently.
No, he's not.
Well, I was told he's a flex.
Can, I don't know.
I was told
Trank was like such a good tank.
I was told he was a flex. So was Narc, but look at that.
Narc can, yeah, true.
I mean, Narc would blow all of them out of the water right now.
Yeah, Narc was phenomenal.
Lexi's number 1, okay? Fanatics is number 2.
Okay.
Spectre 1 Up is number 3.
Okay.
Yui is number 4. Forever Alice is number 5. Slaya, then Ninja, and then Naiju. If you want to know how close
That's
these...
interesting.
Ninja,
Ninja Zen is good.
That's what
Ninja Zen.
That's what I said. They have the 2 best... They have the best tank duo on that team earlier. Okay, so let me just give you a... I'd
say Vex duo is probably better, but that duo is really good. Yeah.
Okay, so here's the thing, though. Check this out. Lexi's in first place with 149 votes, right? 53% of the votes, first place. I'm gonna read the percentages down in order from top to bottom. Ready? This is how close. Okay. This is how close these are. 53, 39, 25, 24, 18, 15, 13, 13.
That's insane compared to the other ones. I think NA support is probably like the next slowest difference, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was like 60-11 or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, this one is even better. I love looking at this one every couple hours even, okay? Welsh Mania and World are tied right now with 51% of the votes each.
Ooh.
That's great.
But they keep switching by one vote. World will go up by one vote, then Welsh will go up by one vote, then World will go back up by one vote, and it keeps going back and forth. It's I think it's funny. And then after them, they have Kings and Bizjop.
Okay.
Killer Creed's right there. Tully is 6. He was at 1 point in third. Then Lightning Pig. 8s is all the way down there.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't play anymore, does he?
He was in the last qualifier.
Okay.
But yeah, they both have 76 votes apiece, and they're fighting for first place. Xbox EU support Narc is leading with 62 votes, 42% of it. Luke is second, but Fluxy is 1 vote behind him in third. And then you have Bay Marius in fourth.
Who's in second?
Luke is too good. Luke. Yeah.
Boy.
Yeah. Luke's in second. Then Fluxy, then Bay Marius. And then if you want to go further than fourth, you have Smutney, Duffman Rules, West Side Riders, Kizza, and then Busyfinger.
I'm surprised Kizza is that low. That's interesting.
I mean, would you pick Kizza over Narc, Luke, Fluxy, Smutney?
I don't know Smutney.
Okay, so Smutney was one of the tanks for Legacy's old team that never finished less than second.
Jesus Christ.
And he was a PC player before that. He went back to PC. He went to the latest PC LAN with his Cryptic team, and then he came back to console and switched to Xbox.
He might know what he's doing. Okay.
The guy knows what he's doing.
Wasn't he like supposed to join Fnatic at one point?
Yeah, he almost joined Fnatic.
Yeah, it was supposed to be Fnatic sub.
Oh, that's still
like
pretty crazy though.
The first split of PPL, he was supposed to be Fnatic sub. I forgot what happened.
Big deal. Holy shit.
Yeah, kid's nasty, bro. Watch out for him.
I feel like an asshole now. Holy shit.
Who's Smutney?
Oh, that guy who said
He was signed. Listen, he was signed to a bigger org than you.
No, I know. I agree.
I'm not talking about Cryptic. He was signed to Burrito with Legacy.
Yeah. Back whenever that happened, and then they never went to a LAN qualifier.
All right, last one. Xbox EU Flex. Slopadopoulos in first place. T-Trank in second. And then Tapsy and Tylo.
Who was first? I'm sorry, I missed that.
Slopadopoulos.
Okay, yeah.
And then T-Trank.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Then Tapsy. And then Tylo. Voting ends tonight. I mean, that's all I have for the show today. I don't know if you guys wanted to add anything or if you guys had anything specifically you want to talk about.
Who do you think wins this next PC event?
PC?
Yeah, PC.
I mean, the next one's HRX,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Oh yeah.
No, I thought the next one would be.
Wait. We're doing
LAN
way too
qualifier.
early
The
rankings.
PPL all in.
The way too early rankings?
Way too early rankings. You don't know. We really don't know. This is just like a crapshoot. But who do you think makes it out of EU and who makes it out of NA?
I mean, it's gonna be Navi, dude.
When it gets to LAN, it's hard to vote against them.
I'm putting on the big boy boots, and I'm saying Envy's pulling it out this time. Envy
was
for
my pick.
HRX.
That was my pick.
If I had to choose an NA team to win HRX, it would have to be G2.
Yeah, that team's really fucking good too.
Envy has made third. I forgot.
But Cuss moved to tank, and now he's tank daddy.
Envy,
He is.
Envy has come top 3 in the last 3
Yeah.
lands.
And G2 won the last LAN, so no, they didn't.
Well,
Navi won it.
Yeah,
but
they won the PPL split.
yeah.
Which is still at LAN. I mean, they had to beat NV on LAN, so it's still a feat. But in the bigger tournament, so to speak, NV went further. And I would actually, I would pick them to win HRX this time. Just kind of like a bullshit guess. I don't really know.
All right, I'll remember these. They're recorded, so.
Yeah. you
I
can
get-
make fun of me
no,
if
no,
it
no, no.
gets knocked out like Losers 3.
The true guess. We're gonna have Mouse Sports and Splice.
Yeah. Speaking of mouse sports, Sephi Cloud was in my stream earlier.
Sephi, what?
Sephi Cloud, he plays for Mouse.
Oh, word?
Yeah, he plays for Virtus Pro. Not anymore though. That's all I have for the show. I don't know if you guys want to say something before you guys, we close out. You can shout your Twitters out or whatever.
Nobody cares about that.
Yeah, no one cares. I will say that I am looking to get like some sort of cheesy pickup league.
Oh yeah.
You know, you and me talked about it briefly, but
I mean, a guy did that last year around this time.
did he? How'd it go? Poorly, I'm guessing.
He
I have
made-
no idea what the hell it is.
That guy was me, in case you're wondering.
Oh, yikes.
He made like a league, but the problem is that if there's no payout at the end of the day, not many
Why
people.
would you do it? Yeah.
Not many people are going to want to do it. The
Did you do
second
actual teams or pickup?
There
actual
was team
teams.
See, I feel like if you do pickup teams for like, if you get like high res in on it for Chris, like I don't know if they even would do this, but
Like
if,
they do it for PC. They do the Pug League.
yeah, but like
It's-
even if you get
Depends on-
crystals, people would do it. It's fun.
They do crystals. They do crystals for the Pug League. Do you know what the Pug League is? It's the pickup games.
Yeah. I you know what's funny is I had no idea. Like, I was explaining this to someone. I think it was I Suck at Paladins, and he was like, "Oh, like they do on PC." I'm like, "Oh, Jesus, okay, this already exists."
Yeah, they have the Pug League. Their logo, they took the PPL logo and put a pug's
Put a pug
face
in
on it. Yeah. No, they took up like the whole Androx's head with a pug.
That's great.
And Hi-Res gives them crystals for the winners. Every Saturday you have to join the Discord like when it's time to start, and you have to be like the first one there, and then they draft they flip for captains, and then they draft teams.
Mhm.
And they have a tournament. It's not just like a tens lobby, it's an actual tournament with all the pickup teams.
Yeah. Well, anyway, that's
It's
what we're
Paladins kickball, boy.
Yeah. That's what we're looking to do. There would be like obviously no sort of commitment. It's like if you show up, you show up. If you don't, who cares?
I think it would be fun if you do it like a pug league, right? Pickup games.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Pickup games, tournament, single elimination. You could do best of one so people don't get bored of it.
Yeah.
Like
yeah, you don't wanna
that's
be,
something
like,
you could do best of ones for.
That is. Yeah, you don't want to be like getting railed in a set, right? You don't want to get 4-0 3 times in a row. It's like, all right, I get it. We lost.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I think that would be cool. Like people, it can help them mechanically.
Mhm.
It would get people to play the game more, and it would also you can get newer players introduced.
Yeah, exactly. And as we saw today, 11 and 8 teams signed up for PS4 and Xbox EU.
Hey, let's not kid around here. 8 Xbox EU teams is a lot of freaking
All right.
teams, man.
8 Xbox EU is like a triumph, but 11 EU, like if Xbox NA has anything less than like 15 to 20, that's like an extreme disappointment. Like that's a joke. Like we don't deserve anything if that happens.
I don't know, man.
It's free money, and it's a best of one, so anyone can win.
It's not gonna be the huge number of teams like.
No, I'm not expecting like 60 because people have moved.
Happened week 1.
Yeah, that's never gonna happen again. But I think 15 to 20 is doable.
I think when Paladins 2 comes out, okay?
So never. Gotcha. Oh man.
They'll release
Oh, yeah.
Paladins 2 before they fix this hotfix they put up. right.
Infuriatingly, and we'll still. Yeah.
Paladins 2.
All right.
But that's all I got for today. I'm looking to make the podcast, I was going to do a monthly thing, but then I just realized I can do it this way instead. I can do it weekly, one a week. And I have a podcast site that's free, unlimited upload space, so I can put as much podcasts as I want on there. And people can go on there and listen to them for free. But the thing is, I think I'm going to post 4 a month, so 1 every week. And the only way to listen or have access to all 4 of the podcasts is through the Patreon. $1 per month gets you access to all of the podcasts at all times. Other than that, you only get, for the people that don't do the Patreon for $1 a month for the podcasts, you would only get 1 every month. So there'd be a free episode every month, and then the rest you'd have to spend $1 a month.
That is 33 cents a pop.
Thank you, Chris, for the quick maths.
Good math.
Quick maths. But
Not always smart.
but yeah. So I mean, if you guys think that's cool, just let me know your thoughts. I have the Patreon on there. If you donate $3,000, you get to come here and be on the show in person and have dinner with me. So drop. Chris, you can forget about making payments on your dorm. Just drop $3,000 in the Patreon, baby. Take you out to a nice Burger King or McDonald's. Your choice.
Oh, that's good.
But no, you guys should check it out. It's patreon.com/blueball. That goes for the rest of you listening to the podcast as well. I want to thank Miracle, the Captain Onslaught Summer Final winner from Xbox NA for being on the show today. I want to thank Chris Al for being on the show today. I enjoyed talking to you guys. It was fun.
Yep.
All right. Had fun, Blue Ball.
You too, guys. And for everyone else, keep grinding.